Hey guys, it's Nadia from liadiadesigns, and today we are making my hand-painted embroidery flower coasters. This is another popular technique, and it uses some of the similar products of some of my other techniques. So I want to show you this one in specific, and where we make these really pretty flowers. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to create a base layer. And so I poured resin, pigmented resin into this mold, and then I let it cure overnight. And as you can see, it has a really neat finish to it. It's actually a flash mica powder. So the brand is DM Resin Products, and this is Flash Violet. So as you can see, it has a really neat kind of effect. And actually, when you pick it up and tilt the coaster, you're going to see different um, hues and shades of blue and violet and purple, and it's really neat color. So before we get started with that though, I do need to show you some of the products that we are going to use to paint onto this coaster. I have my preferred product, but I am going to also show you some alternatives. I recorded this video and the paint options that I'm going to show you last year in 2020. So let's go back and review that, and then I will see you on the other side and we'll get started. Okay guys, so let's talk about how to draw on your resin. So once your resin's cured, you can use one of these products to actually draw the dandelion design on your coasters. I have my preferred product for this, but I wanted to give you guys some options because what I realized over the last couple months with the pandemic is that it was becoming increasingly difficult to find the product that I normally use, and I wanted to give you guys options and alternatives just in case you weren't able to find my recommended product. So So before I was a resin artist, I actually used to draw on ceramics and glass, and I used to use this product here. It's called a Vitrea. It's by Pebeo. It's called Vitrea 160, and it's specifically for glass. The way this works is you would draw on the glass or the ceramics, and then you would bake the item for 30 to 40 minutes, and that would set the paint onto it, so then it becomes washable, very durable, and it's just very specific for that use. But I really enjoyed working with this outliner, so I wanted to see if it would work with resin. And obviously I wouldn't be able to bake the resin, but I figured that maybe if I was able to put a clear layer on top, then that would seal it in. And luckily for me, it does work. So again, I'm sure you're familiar with how this looks, but that is how that looks. The second alternative I came up with was trying to use an acrylic paint such as this Deco Art Extreme Sheen Pearl, which has a similar coloring as the Vitrea Pearl. But what I was finding when I tried to use it all by itself is that the paint was a little bit too thin, like the viscosity of it was too thin. So you'll see how that turned out on this test piece here. It's just a little bit too runny. So what was happening is that you weren't getting those sharp, distinctive design lines in here. It was just kind of all really soft and kind of mushy looking. So wasn't great. But what I tried after that is I actually mixed a little bit of this Liquitex Liquid Thickening Gel to the Deco Art. And like I said, not a lot, very little. And what it does is it just thickens it up just enough so that it's perfect to be put into one of these precision applicator bottles, and then you can just pipe it out just like you would if you were doing henna, or again, something similar to this. So I'll show you what it looks like once. So this applicator bottle is very common for henna artists. It's also used for many other types of mediums. You can find it at most craft stores, hobby stores, or even on Amazon. So I'll just show you how that looks. So it just pipes out just like that. And I'll show you as well in comparison to the Vitrea. So there you can see it. They're very similar, a little bit different in coloring, but very, very, very similar. So that was the two options that I think are the best. If you're not able to, sorry, let me actually show you the coaster with it. So again, you can see it works very well. Now, if you're not able to find either of these two options, then and you need a very kind of simple option that maybe doesn't require any mixing or something maybe you already have, you could definitely just go straight to just a simple matte acrylic color. So this one here is called Basics by Liquitex. So I didn't mix this one. It actually I did mix it. I took the titanium white and I tried to make it pearl. I took some pearl pigment powder, and I tried to mix it to get that pearl sheen. The titanium white wasn't having it, so basically it just sucked up all that pigment powder and still looked super white when it was done. So I'll show you what that looks like here. So you can see it doesn't have that pearlescence to it. It's more of a flat white, but it does have a similar look. So like I said, and if you can't find any other products, this one works just as well in terms of holding up its shape and getting the design done for you. It just doesn't have that pearlescence to it. And maybe if you do find a brand similar to this that does have a pearlescent color, that might work just fine as well. I wasn't able to find any, just kind of rummaging around what I have in stock here. So I use this and I think it worked just fine as a quote unquote basic option. And again, I just put that inside one of these precision applicators that has the metal tip, and then I just piped it through. So again, use my needle to, I guess. So the great one thing about these applicator tips is sometimes they do get a little bit clogged. They do come with these pins, so you can just kind of clear it out quickly. And then again, piping a line. So there you go. So you can see how much whiter that is than the pearl. So again, it can definitely work depending on the design you're looking for or just what you have available to you. So there you go. So those are the three options. Hopefully between these three, you can find something that works for you. Okay, so we're ready to get started with our painting, and I'm going to be using my Vitrea 160 outliner from Pebeo, and this is in Pearl White. So again, we have our cured base layer ready, and then we're ready to get started. So what we're going to do is we're going to make the basic inside flower petal shape. So we're going to start in the center just to kind of get that shape started, and it's going to just be kind of like a scalloped edge, and then we'll do the same thing underneath it as well. A very similar shape is fine, or if you want to change it up. These are flowers, of course, so in nature nothing is perfect, so don't be afraid to just give it a try. So as you can see here, I'm going over them twice, making a thin line at first just to get the shape, and then going back over it to thicken the line the second time around. So I'm going to go ahead and do this, and then we'll jump into a time lapse and we'll go to the next step. Okay, so the next step, you're going to need a very fine tip paintbrush. And what we're going to do is we're going to just kind of quickly pull some lines in from the thickest parts of those painted lines that we created earlier. So we're just going to drag them in, and it's going to cause a look of almost like those threads, those embroidery threads, the look that we're going for here. So we're just going to, again, we're not going to go fully all the way through, and we're not going to drag them all the way down. We want to leave a little bit of space so that the color of the coaster still shows. So we're going about 3/4 of the way down. So again, we'll just and we're going to go in the direction towards the center of the flower. So you can see here, I'm dragging towards the center, and the same here. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect. These are flowers. You know, they might have irregularities. It's not a big problem. So again, another time lapse, and then we'll see you on the other side. Okay, so I'm just going in and going to be adding just some dots around the flower to add some more interest and just some extra details. And then once I'm finished with this, I will let it sit and dry. This needs a couple hours at most. I just want to touch it to make sure it's fully dry, and then we can go ahead and add our top coat. So here we are adding our top coat. We only need about, well, I only need about 1.5 ounces here to add as my top coat to fill the mold. And so I'm pouring it, and then I will just use my heat gun to get all the bubbles out. And once all the bubbles are out, I will let it sit overnight to cure and unmold it in the morning. So here they are, the final coasters. I absolutely love the white against the purple. It's just so pretty. And you can see on the second one, I added some glitter as well, which is an option. So I hope you guys liked this tutorial. If you did, don't forget to leave me a comment and like and subscribe. Thanks so much, guys. Bye.